Okay, welcome back everyone. This short video is actually going to be like a review of the Meteor strike activity that you just completed. I think it's important that we talk a little bit about, well, why you actually as a team went through this, and there's a number of reasons for that. And let's go ahead and take a look at some of them right now. As far as the review is concerned, first of all, an overview of the assignment one more time. Again, this is basically a no-win situation where a major catastrophe has occurred, and through critical thinking, reasoning, and team discussion consensus, you had to come up with a solution, a best solution. Though, as probably you've noticed throughout the exercise, there probably is no perfect resolution, but you can only do with what you can do with what the information you have available to you. So specifically, you had to pick 6 individuals out of 15 who were going to continue the human race. Some had qualifications that were positive, and they all had qualifications or background that was really probably not very good. There were some negative aspects. So again, there wasn't any immediate standouts among the characters. There were good stuff and there was not so good stuff. And what you had to do is, based on looking ahead at the end result, how are you going to get there with what you have, and identifying the 6 people who you can gather together with the best qualifications and move forward, which was basically what? To repopulate the earth. Again, reality would suggest that would probably never happen, but again, we couldn't infer that. So let's take a look at some of the expectations. Now, the first is applied communication. Now, what do I mean by this? Because you are dealing with teams, and there are a number of you in the teams, communication was not necessarily individual to individual, but individual to groups. There could be individual to individual, back and forth, not necessarily, and they could be mixed up, but there could be, shall we say, kind of complex and multi-leveled. So you had to make sure, because you had a limited amount of time, you had to make sure that the communication process we talked about in Module 1 worked as perfectly, or as well, I hate to use the term perfectly, but as functionally, if you wish, as it could be. Next was the collaborative experience. Now, I'm going to guess that within your teams, everyone didn't really agree with the choices that were available. I'll bet, if you got 6 people on your team, you probably had 6 different combinations of the 6 individuals who would have been selected, the characters who have been selected. So it's the collaborative nature. Now, again, in the real world, in business, you are going to be working in teams, and the only way you get stuff done is to collaborate with individuals and develop consensus or an agreement. So this gave you also an opportunity to do that. Next was critical thinking. Now, critical thinking at 2 levels. We had the critical thinking from an individual point of view, because you were to look at this individually, kind of develop your thoughts, and then collaboratively as a team, using critical thought and then coming up with your best candidates. So critical thinking was important here, because you had to look at and be very specific, analyze the characters, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, considering the end result. Are these strengths going to be good, or are they really not going to be terribly valuable in the environment that they're going to end up in? And what about some of the negatives, if you wish? One of the characters was a breast cancer survivor. Now, when you think of cancer, okay, it's not a pleasantry, but if she's a survivor, that's a good sign. But then again, do you want to have that considered in the mix? So again, you had to get the best of the best and the least bad of the worst, if you wish. So again, critical thinking was involved. Problem solving was also part of the critical thinking. Problem solving could have been anywhere from determining if you could not come up with a six as a group, you had to problem solve and come up, figure out what's the best way to handling it. This whole situation was a problem that you had to deal with. So again, you had to look at from the beginning to the end, all the components, all the steps, and actually determine a logical flow to do that. Now, outcomes. What did I kind of expect you to obtain from this? Well, first of all, an enhanced awareness of the communication process and critical thinking in particular. This is certainly not something that you could have thrown together very quickly. Would have taken some time, particularly from the communication point of view, but also from the determination of the characters you wanted to select. Finally, the other one is to strengthen the team status. Again, you've never known these people, your team members, until this class, so we kind of threw you into the mix right away and expected you to perform like a well-oiled machine, if you wish. Now, so you had to kind of overcome a lot of the problems that happen early on in a team and move on quickly. So I'm guessing now that after you've done this, your team works better together. You're probably more comfortable working with your team members, and for the remainder of the term, you'll be better off working with them, and things will get done probably far more efficiently. Anyways, again, this was an activity, kind of an icebreaker to get you motivated, get you critically thinking, get you involved with your team members, and generally it works out fairly well for all involved. That covers it for now. If you got any questions, as always, please let me know. Thanks. Have a great day.